Okay, so today we are going to be working on lesson 10-1, line and angle relationships. So go and put that title, and also don't forget today's date as well. So there's 4 examples. All right, so in the figure here, what we have is we have 2 parallel lines and something that's going through. It's called a transversal. And there's some important words, vocabulary that you need to learn here, okay? And so we're going to start there with the vocabulary. So we're going to learn a couple of different types of angles, angle 7 and angle 2. So here's angle 7 and here angle 2. They are called alternate exterior angles, okay? And they are congruent, meaning they both equal the same amount. It says here in the figure, M is parallel to N and T is a transversal. So if angle 7 is 123, they want to know what angle 2 is. Well, these are called alternate exterior angles, okay? They're on the outside, the exterior of the 2 parallel lines is a good way to remember them, and they're alternate of each other. So the other ones that are alternate of each other are also 1 and 6. Those would also be exterior alternate angles, okay? So now that we know that the angle 2 is 123 degrees as well, then we can figure out what angle 8 is. Angle 8 happens to be on the opposite side of angle 2, and there's a special name for it, and that is, well, 2 things. First of all, it's a vertical angle, so whatever this angle is, that angle is also going to be. And you can see it makes a letter V, okay? So those are vertical angles, so they equal each other. But another way that you know what they are is that if 7 is 123 degrees, so is 8, because these are also called corresponding angles. When they're on the same side of the transversal, on the inside, okay, those are called corresponding angles, and they equal each other as well. So 2 ways of figuring out what that answer is: vertical angles or corresponding angles. So angle 8 happens to be 123 degrees too. All right, so now it's your turn. Go ahead and write this down in the figure. M is parallel to N, that's what that means, and T is the transversal, so here's the transversal going through. You're told that angle 4 is 57 degrees, okay? And you need to find angle 5, okay? Well, I'm just going to explain to you another type of angle is called an interior alternate angle. Now these angles are in the interior of the 2 parallel lines, and they're alternate of each other, so they're interior alternate. So guess what? If angle 57 or angle 4 equals 57 degrees, then angle 5 is going to also equal 57 degrees. All right? And remember, angle 5 and angle 1 are called corresponding angles. And 4 and 1 are vertical angles, okay? So either way, you're going to find that angle 5 is 57 degrees because they are interior alternate angles. Let me write that down for you so you have it. Interior alternate angles, okay? 1 and 5 are interior alternate angles, okay? 4 and 5 are interior alternate angles. 1 and 5 are corresponding angles, and 1 and 4 are vertical angles, okay? So here's the word I'm using is vertical, okay? Angles, that would be 1 and 4. So 2 different ways to find them, the answer. All right, so angle D is 53 degrees, and it says angle D and E are complementary. So the next definition or thing that you should understand is complementary angles always add up to 90 degrees, okay? Another type of angle is called a supplementary angle, and they always add up to 180 degrees. And the best way you can remember the difference between complementary and supplementary is complementary starts with the letter C, supplementary starts with the letter S. In the alphabet, C comes before S. A complementary angle is 90 degrees, a supplementary angle is 180. In the number system, 90 comes before 180. So that's a good way to remember. Complementary is 90, supplementary is 180. So if this angle is 53 degrees and this has to add up to 90, couldn't you just take 90 and subtract 53? And yes, you could. And when you do that, you will notice that to solve it, basically you're going to have that 53 degree angle plus whatever angle E is going to equal 90 degrees. So really, we're going to subtract 53 from this side to find out angle E. 90 minus 53 gives you the answer, 37 degrees. So your answer would have been B. Now here, it's asking you, or it's telling you that these two angles are supplementary. Remember the rule? Supplementary equals 180. So what do we do on this one? And again, this will just be good to watch and write down the notes. We have angle G is 104 plus, move back a little bit, angle H, okay, we'll just call it H, have to equal up to 180. So we're going to subtract 104 from both sides, and we're going to get H, because this zeroes out right here, H equals 76. So your answer would be A. All right, next, it says angles PQR and STU are supplementary. So the two of them added together have to equal to 180 degrees. So first you find the value of X, angle Q and angle STU. You substitute what you know about them. PQR is X minus 15, STU is X minus 65. Okay, what you have here is you have an X plus another X, so that's how they get two X's. And you have a negative 15, you can go plus minus and plus minus with this. Negative 15 and negative 65 gives you negative 80. All right, we want to get the X's on one side, so we have to get rid of this negative 80. So we add 80 to both sides, and 180 plus 80 is 260. You now have 2X equals 260. Divide both sides by 2, and you get 130 degrees. Now you have to take that. You found what X is, but you have to put it back into here. 130 minus 15, 130 minus 65. That will give you what the measurements of those two angles are. So replacing 130 to find the measurements of each angle. So 130 minus 15, or 115. So measurement of angle PQR is 115. And measurement of STU is 130 minus 65, or 65. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it would be 65 as well. And so here they are. PQR 115, STU 65. Here's your turn. See if you can solve that. There now. This time you're told that they're complementary. So complementary equals 90 degrees. So this plus that equals 90. Okay, and if you actually did this right, the final answer would have been 41 degrees and 49 degrees. Example number 4. Now, a road crosses a railroad track at angles as shown. They're telling you that angle 1 is 131. You have to find angle 6 and angle 5. Okay, so what do we know about angle 1 compared to angle 5 or angle 6? Well, let's find out. First of all, angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. They're in the same spots. You guys, a helpful hint is, look at how big this one is. It's an obtuse angle. So is this. 8 is definitely not an obtuse angle, and neither is number 4. So that kind of gives you a helpful hint too. When you have transversals, it makes an obtuse and an acute angle. So think about that. So if 1 and 5 are corresponding angles, then the angle 5 must be 131 degrees. Okay? Now, watch this right here. See what this makes? It makes a little protractor, doesn't it? And what does a protractor add up to? 180 degrees. So if I take angle 5 plus angle 6 equals 180, I should be able to find the answer. And let's see what happens. So they are supplementary angles. They measure up to 180. So the 180 minus 139 is going to give you angle 6, which is 49 degrees. All right. And now it's your turn. They're telling you that angle 1 is 148, and you got to figure out angle 3 and angle 4. Okay? Remember the word vertical. It's going to be helpful in this situation. And see if you can find the answer. And if you did this correctly, pause it while I'm giving you the answer. You should have got angle 3 is 148 degrees because it's vertical, okay? And angle 4 is 32 degrees. And guys, guess what? If I drew, watch what happens with this one, a protractor, that means that these two angles here are supplementary. Don't forget that. Two angles beside each other, and an obtuse and acute, have to add up together to give you 180 degrees. That's just how it works with the transversal. All right? And so, that's the end of lesson 10-1.